What's up, guys? Tim from Olsen Motorsports. So I wanted to do a quick review. It's early morning. We're out here, Lake Superior. What a setting. So the past 7 days has been kind of a roller coaster. 7 days ago, this truck was stock. It's my personal vehicle. 2000, I think it's an 18, 2018. I've had since brand new, and it's just about to turn 18,000 miles. We've done absolutely nothing to this vehicle. This is my mall crawler, which is hilarious. Stock brakes, stock tires. We have a killer sound system in it. And 7 days ago, this truck was stock. And we received our shipment of JRZ Suspension Engineering AT, all-terrain dampers, installed them in the car, and decided to come up to, we're in Bayfield, Wisconsin, which is a stunning setting. So a lot of firsts for me this weekend. First time ever getting my truck dirty, and I really mean that. I mean, it's, you know, full PPF, ceramic coated, and I'm extremely anal about my truck. So, you know, this thing is, it's now salt foot. I don't think it's lead foot gray anymore. I think it's salt foot gray. So a couple firsts for me. First time ever driving on snow. I'm from Chicago, and when I mean driving on snow, of course I drive on snow back and forth to work, or, you know, I occasionally go to a parking lot and do some donuts, but it was my first time ever driving on snow at speed. And so a couple of reviews that we wanted to do on the JRZ Suspension AT dampers was our highway review. So we came up, and, you know, it'll explain in there, you know, some of the problems I had with the truck. It was porpoising, the back end was stepping out on me at highway speeds, aggressive highway speeds, you know, 90, 100 miles an hour. And the way we were able to dial the dampers in for that setting was simply amazing. And then the real test kind of started. And like I said, I've never driven on snow, so it took me probably 10 or 15 minutes to get actually up to speed on the grip levels. You know, so some of my thoughts on that is the stock KO2 tires they're absolutely ridiculous in the snow. There's so much grip. So this tarmac surface that we had to work with was actual pavement, and then it went from pavement, and then it went to gravel, and then back to pavement in a bunch of areas. So in Bayfield, there's a lot of ATV trails and snowmobile trails, and that's kind of the stuff we were on. So to get in there, we had a really bumpy road that had these huge compressions, and the road was just like this. And we hit that at, I don't know, what would you say, Keith, 90 to 100 miles an hour. And that was about as fast as I personally wanted to go, because, you know, you see the guys jumping, you know, their trucks, and, you know, they're moving, but 100 miles an hour, wheels off the ground, it's a little disconcerting. So that was about as fast as I was comfortable in taking it. First time I'd ever done anything like that before. And then we got into some of the twisty stuff. There was gravel, hard packed gravel, and then there was hard packed snow changing to ice. So in those grip levels, we were doing, you know, 40, 50 miles an hour around the bends. Some of them were tight, twisty bends. Some of them were sweepers. The sweepers, we were probably 10, 15 miles an hour faster, and then hitting up to 90, you know, 90, 85, 90 miles an hour on some of the straightaways in that snow condition. You know, you hit the brakes and something like that, and there's got a lot of rear bias in this vehicle. There's a lot of rear brake bias, so you can just, the rear end just steps out on you as soon as you touch the brakes. You really have to work the steering wheel. So it was my first time ever driving at speed, you know, in sort of a snowy condition, and I wanted to do that just so that, you know, you guys would see we push the limits of this vehicle as far as I personally was comfortable doing, and I think at the limits of grip levels on the truck. I don't know if you think the same way, Keith, but I think we were at the levels of grip. Of course, there's better tires out there, but I wanted to do the stock KO2 because that's what a lot of people use. They have a stock truck, they have a stock brakes, they might change the wheels, or these have the bead locks on them, and I think they look really cool. So 100% bone stock truck, no power additions whatsoever. Everything's completely factory, lights and JRZ suspension. You know, in retrospect, if I could do it again, I'd have a winch. You know, I would for sure do a winch, because we beached it once and had to get somebody to pull us out. Another quick thought is this was all controlled environment, so there was a couple more guys with us in Raptors, and they would go out in front of us and block the streets off. So some of these videos are we're obviously in the other lane and we're setting up for apexes. So that was a controlled environment where there was guys 2 miles out completely blocking traffic, and then all we had to watch out for was wildlife. So one of the biggest things is driving those rates of speeds, through those big compression moments into the twisties. A lot of those situations, we would dive into the apex, and we would hit those big compression moments, and I would have never have been able to do that with a stock Raptor. I don't have the confidence that the vehicle is predictable enough. Once we got up to speed in some of those situations, we were pushing harder and harder and harder, and the truck was taking absolutely everything we could throw at it. My history is sports cars. I personally have a Porsche, and I drive that thing very, very, very hard. So to transition from a Porsche into a Raptor is, that's a very steep learning curve, especially the first time on snow. And I'd come up here in those situations and try to push that speed that we were running, I would have been in the ditch in 700 feet. Probably less than an eighth of a mile, I would have been in the ditch at those speeds. So I can't even begin to describe to you how confident I am in mid-speed compression stability, when everything is loaded, that this thing is completely stable and completely flat, and it basically took anything we could throw at it. So that was a big deal for me, to come up here and feel that confidence, and it's something that I can personally put my name on and give to you guys and say, this is good stuff. I'm super, super impressed. I think now we can go back to Chicago. Today we're gonna drive back to Chicago. It's about 500 miles, and now I think we have our street settings for your dampers. I think we have our high speed, sort of big unloading and loading moments, big compressions, and some wheels off the ground sort of stuff for some of those situations. And then we have our really washboardy. So we're on ice right now, and this is how the surface is. There's, I thought ice would be smooth, but apparently it's not. I guess the waves froze, so to speak. So, this area here, it's just washboard, and we also have a setting for that as well. So we took a lot of rebound bleed out for the hard packed snow and ice situations that we were driving aggressively on. We took a lot of rebound bleed out, so it's significantly stiffer on rebound. In something like this situation, we put a lot of rebound bleed in and took a lot of compression bleed out, and that just smoothed the truck out, over those types of situations. And then on the highway, we were really stiff on compression bleed and really low on rebound bleed. And then the jumping condition was obviously a high compression, low rebound situation. So I think now we can go back to Chicago with confidence. I totally expected to take the dampers apart a couple of times and do some revalves and maybe do some further testing. So our next test will be in Livonia, Michigan. We're going to do some manufacturer testing on some of the private off-road courses they have there, and then I think we're going to head out west and probably do some of the Moab stuff, and then I think we'll be perfect on our stuff. So thanks for watching. So make sure you subscribe to our channels. Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys.